This is not the type of video that I was envisioning I was going to be recording today. So when I purchased this bike, I knew the engine was bad. So I bought it with the intentions of, hey, long-term project. I'm going to wait it until I can find an engine that makes sense from a money perspective so that I'm not into this bike for more that I can buy one right now that's working perfectly. So my intention was like looking for ways that I can, in a cheap way, buy a frame and then just wait out for the right engine donor, to show up. So there's no rushing here. Eventually, I would love for this bike to become my, drag bike, but on the urge of me wanting to see what the heck happened with the previous engine and whatnot, you saw what happened in the previous video, and if you haven't, let me show it to you right now. So now that you know that a screwdriver was inside of my throttle bodies and it kind of held my motorcycle wide open when I first started it. So essentially, now I'm in a place where I need to make a decision. So either going to the original plan, which is waiting for a new engine, or maybe I can rebuild this engine and make it a whole, new experience for me. Just trying to understand, hey, what it went wrong, and just trying to fix it, either replacing pistons, crankshaft or transmission, or bearings, or the block or the engine, whatever it is. So 2025 for me, it's about not portraying perfection from a sense of, oh, I know exactly what is happening here, or whatever. I do not care about what people say about my skills or anything else. I could care less. This channel is not the mechanic guy who works on bike. That's not me. So if you were thinking that I'm a master mechanic, so you can turn it off, walk away, and that's fine with me. It doesn't matter to me. This channel, it's about a guy who likes motorcycles, that does not have a lot of money, but he still likes to make it work somehow. Why? Because like me, there's thousands of people who can't afford bikes, but maybe if they put a little bit of thought into what they're doing, and they are willing to wait and they're patient, they can use skills. They can use this as an opportunity to learn. And I know there's going to be someone's gonna say, oh my goodness, learning with a ZX14, you're going to die. Please just go somewhere else. I don't need you. You don't need to know my resume, but this is bike 65 for me. I've been working on bikes from not knowing anything to maybe learning a little bit every time I get a new bike, and so far no mechanical issues. And this is the first time I'm really embarking in a project where I'm really trying to, hey, let's just try to do it myself, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, and I'm just gonna take it step by step. I'm not an idiot. I'm gonna go trying to run first time in a drag race after just putting a new engine on it. Just chill out, please chill out. What I think is lacking in YouTube is people that are really putting content that really people can resonate with people, because they come from a same background. The problem is everyone in their 20s or their 30s or even in their 60s, like to kind of look at it and say, oh my goodness, he's doing this wrong, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. I care about the process of kind of learning. If I mess up, I take the engine out, nothing happens. This is just a learning experience. No one is forcing me to do this. I don't need this bike at all. I did it because I want to. So, and make it something that's positive. So if we can keep it like that, that'll be amazing. So anyhow, that's my plan for 2025, just to understand, do I get a new engine? And then, eBay prices right now are in the 30 and the 3,000 all the way to 35, maybe 5,000 for newer models. But of course, I'm trying to stay with the recipe of maybe either first gen or second gen if I have to do, harness swap, which it's a possibility. But as of right now, I'm still trying to stay within the first gen if possible. And I'm gonna show you the engine right now. So if you look at the engine, you know what? You can see a few marks in here. I'm not an expert, but doing this with my nail doesn't seem like it's catching. I rotated the engine and I can see through the sleeve, every cycle of the engine, and the sleeves, at least from the bottom, they look okay. Of course, I have to take a look at what's happening on the top of the engine. So I have to, separate the head from the block. And next step for me is just to start disassembling the crankshaft, timing, gear reference or whatever, and then just like generator, everything else, and then just like removing everything so that I can get a feel for what's happening, and maybe try to find out if there's something pretty evident that actually went wrong, so I can start assessing the parts and understanding what do I need to replace in order to make it work if this is the route that I'm going to go with. I guess besides some of these marks, which they don't seem horrible, but hey, I'm not an expert, so that's why I'm talking about potentially getting a shop that I can take the engine to, and maybe someone can specializes in this type of motor and tell me if the part that I have right now they're worth something, or if I should be going to a different route. And finally, the one thing that I noticed is this thrust bearing kind of keeping the crankshaft from like walking or moving. Seems like it kind of like moved. Like, I if I'm not mistaken, this should be like flush with the housing, and it was not like that, but it's now kind of like inside, kind of like rotated. So maybe I'm not sure if it's catching there, and maybe that's the issue, and maybe my crankshaft is bad. So yeah, so stuff that I just have to figure out. So that's the plan for now, just to understand building, rebuilding, and then versus buying a new one. And you're probably thinking, man, Richard, rebuilding the engine, if you were to take it somewhere, is going to be expensive. I get it. And it might be as expensive as going to eBay and buying a new engine for $4,000 with 30,000 miles and then being in the same place again. And that, I definitely don't want that. And that makes sense. The other thing is rebuilding will probably be as costly as buying a new one from or a used one from eBay, but it might come back with fresh life in the sense of new parts, new tolerances and everything else. So that will make more sense, even if I have to spend 4,000 between labor and parts and whatever. And that's just throwing a number. I'm not saying that's how much the running cost goes for a rebuild for a new engine. So that's it. Secondly, I'm primarily, based on the fact that I don't have a lot of money right now, I'm just more waiting for an opportunity to get a crashed ZX14 at an auction, because that's probably the best and easy route. There's a lot of out there, but I just happen to be able to find one close to me, because I don't want to go like other state to get it. So I'm just looking for something local to show up. So I'm kind of on that scenario, just kind of weighing my options and trying to understand what's happening. So the reason why the bike gets like wrapped like this, I'm going to continue wrapping it, is because chances are I'm probably going to be putting this bike on the side of the house, just so I can make space for my other projects and continue working on them while I'm looking for a project. And I can, as of right now, I'm just trying to keep it above the ground. But there hopefully there's no like rodents or anything that are going to be after my wire harness. So once I put it in place, I'm going to continue to cover it so I can protect it from the elements, as well as hopefully keeping it away from rats or rodents that are trying to eat my everything rubber on the bike or whatnot. So that's the update. If you have any thoughts or stuff that I could do with that engine, that'll be amazing. I am becoming a little bit more familiar with the platform, and I'm just really looking forward to be able to put it together myself. That'll be amazing. And maybe my first one might fail. Maybe I might be wasting money. So I just have to weigh all these things down. But it's about me and my tolerance of failing, and how fast or how quickly I want to see this bike kind of running again. So not a super rush for me, but I'll love for something to be like maybe in the summer running. So let's see. So that's the plan for now. If you have any thoughts or ideas that you can send my way that might help me in my search, please bring them, because I'll be happy to get this bike and share, so that my channel, and going back to the roots of my channel, hey, you don't need to be a mechanic, but I'm no disrespect to mechanics, but I'm also in the mindset of, hey, I can learn a couple things, and I can try to be careful and learn how to do certain things and take the satisfaction with me that I was able to put it together. So if that's you, welcome. And that's not you, and you're looking for someone who's an expert to show you the engine, then that's not me. And you can probably go somewhere else to get the information you're looking for, instead of just leaving a comment about, oh my goodness, he doesn't know how to use a wrench. So I will appreciate if you just go somewhere else. I'm not looking for views or whatever. I'm just sharing my experience. And if I can impact or affect someone's life in a positive way by just giving them the motivation to do something like this, and without really dumping a lot of money and making no sense, and if this goes beyond your abilities, then that would be awesome. So that's all I'm looking for. So hopefully this resonates with you, and thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Bye.